Welcome, residents of the Meister Clan. It is your boy, Six Meister Man, coming at y'all with a brand spanking new video, or at least a video y'all requested, and this is gonna be brilliant. This is the first actual video I ever edit, and this is a fully scripted 100% requested video called What If Naruto Had Godly Chakra Control, Part 1. Because of how good Part 0 did, I decided to do a Part 1 to this and actually revamp the idea to make it more exciting for y'all. If this doesn't get me to 1K, I don't know what will. So please take 5 seconds of your time to click that subscribe button. Shout out to everyone on my Discord for helping me do everything I do. And if y'all want to do anything interesting like give me a what if, I will do them. In my Discord, just go check it out and look for the @everyone give me ideas now, and that's when it will happen. So, shout out to the Dragon Lord for creating my intro and outro, which, after you've subscribed to his channel, link in the description. Let's roll it. What if Naruto had godly chakra control? Part 1. We start off with the young 5-year-old Naruto standing on a tree branch in the rain, overlooking an open field with 3 genin and 1 jonin sparring, with the genin all working together to try and take down the jonin. For the last week, Naruto has been watching this jonin instill teamwork into his genin's very being, and has heard him say many a times that the reason they are put in a 4-man squad is for team-working purposes, and even saw them doing a test to see if they would work together. They were reluctant at first, but after some time, they had started working together. The Jonin even explained that it was a test that rubs them apart to see if they could work together of their own free will. About a month has passed since that day, and Naruto is once again in his tree atop his favorite branch, overlooking the genin he saw train all the way up to their first missions. But today is different, because the Jonin finally gets curious of why Naruto is always watching them, and finally calls him over. Naruto, dumbfounded, now falls out of the tree. He is now fearful because the villagers hated him, and he is scared that today this shinobi might as well, because who knows what would happen if a shinobi wasn't cautious of him like the villagers were, or he might get attacked or something. But to his relief, even after seeing him, the Jonin, still with a warm smile, waves over and by name says, "Naruto, come over here." Naruto wondered why he knew his name if he didn't hate him like the rest. The man then proceeded to ask Naruto why he wasn't in the orphanage, and Naruto said that the matron didn't want him there if he wasn't eating or sleeping. The man was visibly upset by this, but the man, a tall man, white gravity-defying hair, and a mask that covers his mouth, meeting his Konoha headband that covers his left eye, says, "Well, my name is Kakashi Araki. Nice to meet you. I believe you should tell Lord Hokage about this," the man simply said. Naruto now looks up to the man with a sad expression. "You're gonna ask me to leave and not come back now, just like the others, aren't you?" Naruto questioned. Kakashi's heart had shattered right there. This young child he could have spared by following his master's wishes and raising him as his own. But now before him this child was suffering, but he kept his cool and asked the boy what he meant. The boy, now a little more cheerful, explains that all the other shinobi grounds he used to watch, the Jonin would chase him away for being a demon or something like that, and that all he wanted was to learn ninjutsu like all the other kids his age were doing, but unlike them, he didn't have a clan, so he had to resort to this. Kakashi, now astonished that Naruto is fully wanting and willing to train, calls over his genin to introduce them to Naruto, who was now profusely sweating, because most genin threatened him and even chased him around to induce him with fear for them. But to his surprise, they all met him with a smile, and he was happy for a moment they asked him why they until he asked them why they don't dislike him like the rest of the villagers do. The person who looks to be the leader of the group steps forward. Her name, Mei Ajin. She introduces herself and her two teammates, Uzumi Uchiha and Anchi Uchiha. They are all an all-girl squad with two Uchihas and one civilian, with Mei and Anchi being orphans, and then proceeds to say, "We know why the villagers don't like you, but we aren't like the rest of them. We judge a person by their acts and not another." Naruto attempts to find out what they meant, but is cut off by Kakashi asking his genin if they don't mind having Naruto train with them. And the three girls being more than delighted to help Naruto in his training exercises, for none of them were all too eager to go into the mess caused by the Hyuga clan. The Hyuga clan heiress had been abducted by a cloud nin that was executed when caught by the clan head himself. But when it was revealed that the nin was ambassador of the cloud, they had demanded the person that killed him be sent to the cloud at once for capital punishment. But the leaf obviously refused. The weakened third Raikage, who had almost died facing off with 1,000 ninja within the third grade ninja war, demands because they know he is a Kekkei Genkai hungry maniac and wouldn't let one of their precious dojutsu fall into his hands, so it caused a war to spark. Neither side has yet attacked, but it could happen at any time, so the girls would rather stay in the village and train where it is safe. Kakashi had unenthusiastically called for attention because today is the day he finally taught them chakra control exercises, starting with tree walking, and he had fully intended Naruto to join them, and after a quick silence demonstrated, but unbeknownst to anyone, Anki flares up her precious one Tomoe Sharingan to see the chakra flow Kakashi is demonstrating. And afterwards, the four started to practice with Anki obviously only after a few minutes, mastering the exercise and then attempts to help her teammates. When Kakashi steps in and says, "This exercise is meant for the sensei to get some laughs in while his students suffer, so don't interfere with my fun and go help Naruto get the hang of it." Shortly after the girl had explained to Naruto what to do, she flares her Sharingan up once again and sees that the rumors are true. Inside the boy flows red and blue chakra signatures, both of which surpass even Lord Third as far as she can remember. Kakashi notices his student staring at the boy and loudly says that she is supposed to be helping him and not studying that. All three students, immediately knowing what is going on, looks towards Naruto and nods. Anki then proceeds to explain that chakra flows like a river and explains to Naruto how he should manipulate it, and also uses her Sharingan to tell him when his chakra output is lacking or exceeding. Over the next few days, Naruto and the other two were helped by Archie to finally grasp the concept and can all now unconsciously channel chakra to stick to the tree, but Kakashi isn't gonna let them off that easy. So after another week of D-Rank's mission and Kakashi training Naruto in Taijutsu after the group disperses, he decided to teach them water walking and tells Archie that she was forbade from using her Sharingan and that they should wear bathing suits if they do not wish to get wet, or to get their clothes wet more specifically. In these last 2 weeks, Kakashi had gotten a lot closer with Naruto and decided to stop being lazy and help him. Kakashi had taken Naruto out of hearing range and explained in extreme detail to him how to water walk, to maybe push his students to work harder and not to take shortcuts like the Sharingan. After a few hours of practicing, Naruto gets it down and is able to water walk for a while before his reserves go dry and he collapses, with Kakashi just managing to catch him. The boy he lays him down beside the three girls who were already asleep in the grass and then heads back to his apartment for some rest himself. The next morning Naruto wakes up with a blush laying between the three girls who who he was placed between by Kakashi. And after mentally cursing out Kakashi, he starts stretching and preparing to once again do the exercise. And by the time the girls are awoken by another girl around Naruto's age, there to ask if May would be at work today because she worked at the Yamanaka flower shop. The four girls stared in awe as they saw Naruto sitting meditating on the water, not wet in the least. Mei looks over at the girl who is named Ino Yamanaka to stand up and leave. On their way to the flower shop, Mei mentioned how she saw Ino staring at Naruto when Ino bursts into a bright red blush and then continues to ask how the boy could sit on water. Mei explains that Naruto is a boy Ino's age with no clan who they are helping prepare for the academy, and that was an advanced chakra control exercise their sensei had given them to master, and that Naruto seemed to be the first one to get a hold of it. Ino says that she's impressed someone on their age is able to do a Genin level technique as they arrive at the Yamanaka flower shop. And as they enter, Mei says that she will introduce Ino to Naruto after their shift, cutting away at Ino with a blush. We see Naruto being interrupted by the two girls that remained, and told to go home and change out of those dirty clothes. Naruto once again explains that he's not allowed to go inside the orphanage unless he's sleeping and eating. The girls now feel bad and take Naruto to a nearby clothing shop. Entering, they make sure to hide Naruto from the tillman, taking him to the shinobi section, choosing out 2 pairs of black shinobi sandals, 3 pairs of black cargo pants, and 3 pairs of black long shirts with an Uzumaki crest on each arm, and some green cargo vests, almost like the Leaf tuning vest, but more material-like and less protective with more pockets, and a headband strap with no plate attached to it, with a kunai pouch, along with some kunai and shuriken, obviously, proceeding to pay for it and take Naruto to a public restroom after shopping at a store to buy some essentials and proceed into the public restroom, usually used by shinobi needing a shower after training. That's why it was halfway obstructed by the tree line near the training grounds. They hand Naruto some soap and shampoo. After turning on the water, they leave, telling him to take his time, they will be waiting outside. Naruto proceeds to take his first proper shower in a long time. Since he lied about the orphanage, he had actually ran away and is sleeping in a nearby abandoned apartment complex near the training field and plans to keep this a secret. Outside the shower, the girls are making plans for the day and decide to take Naruto back to the Uchiha compound and introduce them to some people. Once Naruto emerged in his new ninja gear, the girls drag him to the Uchiha compound. After arriving at the compound, they call a tired-looking boy around the same age by the name of Itachi over to introduce Naruto as like this boy, and Naruto as thinking what makes him like this boy, because the two girls had said to this boy that Naruto is like him. After Itachi realized Naruto's confusion, while the girls told him about Naruto's level of chakra control with his Kage level chakra, he says hello to Naruto. My name is Itachi Uchiha, and by like they meant a prodigy. I could see the confusion on your face, and it's because I graduated at the academy at age 6 and am currently an Ambo operative at age 12. Well, I believe them when they talk about you. Would you mind walking up that wall? Itachi commented, and Naruto shrugs his tone off and does as he asks. Itachi is now rubbing his chin curiously because even as a prodigy, tree and water walking was hard even for him, and proceeds to ask Naruto what ninjutsu he could perform with a stunning none as Naruto reply. Itachi took a minute to what looks like think something over and proceeds to blaze his 3 Tomoe Sharingan and does a single cross-like hand seal, s- saying aloud Shadow Clone Jutsu, conjuring 2 solid clones, and proceeds to tell Naruto if he figures this jutsu out, then he will train him in anything he requests. So he would teach him anything Naruto wants to learn. Naruto is more than excited to accept the challenge since Anbu are the strongest in the village and could hold some interesting techniques. And after some more conversating, Naruto says that he is gonna head back to the training ground to practice and then separates from the 2 girls after spending a many hour with them. After arriving, Naruto is surprised to see Mei trying to help a blonde girl do the tree walking exercise. After approaching, the girl tumbles down the tree and the sudden noise falling on her behind Naruto helps her up and introduces himself as Naruto Uzumaki and apologizing for causing her to fall. The girl now stands up with a powdered blush saying that it's fine and introduces herself as Ino Yamanaka. Naruto then points out that she wasn't honing in on how much chakra to pour into it and how much not to, because basically what she was doing is just using random amounts of chakra to try and stick to it. Ino is now blushing in embarrassment as Naruto looks over at Mai, who is just carelessly swinging her foot from left to right, like she knew that and wasn't messing around with the girl, earning a grunt from the blonde boy. Naruto then explains to Ino that the point of the exercise is to hone in on how much chakra should be channeled as quickly as possible and then trained to be maintained unconsciously as Kakashi then arrives. Kakashi now comments and says, I see that Naruto has taken on a student, followed by a little giggle with his usual book in front of his face. Ino blushes at being called Naruto's, even though Kakashi didn't say it or mean it in that way, and had develop a bright red blush once again on the blonde that same morning, and she had fallen more head over heels on the blonde that the same morning had she seen something she thought to be impossible. Naruto then moves his attention over to Kakashi, saying that I don't mind helping her if she needs help. She should just ask, but now for you, Kakashi sensei. The boy turns his gaze, now filled with a starry-eyed look. Can you please help me with the jutsu? Someone had told me if I mastered it, they would teach me something I want to learn. Kakashi is conflicted by what Naruto meant by want to learn and shrugs it off as something he saw that person do or a jutsu created by that person that Naruto wishes to learn. Kakashi asks then of Naruto what jutsu he had to master, and Naruto flings through one single cross-like hand seal, channeling chakra into it, and outpoofs one weird-looking clone, which is all floppy and laying on the ground. Kakashi mentally argues with himself if he should be helping Naruto with a powerful B rank technique, and eventually convinces himself to tell Naruto that the limit of the jutsu is 2 clones. And then after explaining the jutsu to the best of his knowledge, he gives Naruto some exercises to do to get it easier, if you will. Naruto isn't one to quickly give up, so for the rest of the night, even after everyone had left, he was still there. The moon was now central in the sky, indicating it was midnight, and Naruto had finally been able to pop out 2 solid perfect clones, and then as he falls unconscious, his 2 clones dispel. The next morning, Mei and Ino arrive early because they wanted to prepare lunch for the group, but when they approach the field, they find an exhausted Naruto unconscious on the ground. They pull him up to put his head on Ino's lap and wait a few more hours. And after a few hours had passed, the rest of the team arrived, Kakashi being worried that Naruto had suffered chakra depletion, but was glad to see him alive. The squad had already arrived when Naruto woke up, and Naruto feels a warm, soft surface as a sensation in the back of his head, and sees a figure above him, and he can't help but feel the sensation of love for some reason, and reaches out his right hand out to rub the figure's cheek with a smile. Naruto's eyes unfog as a warm sensation reaches his hand to reveal Ino blushing with her face blood red. Naruto now straightens his face and sits up to see the entire group staring at them, smiling. He quickly jumps up and all of a sudden he clutches his head because the memory from the clones had just hit him. Kakashi, with a giggle in his tone, says that the headache is the drawback of the Shadow Clone. It's the clone's memories coming back, and this jutsu was originally created by the second Hokage for information gathering until you get used to that much information rushing into your head. He suggests that Naruto doesn't use any more than two clones. But there is the alternative of learning how to not receive the memories, but that is well beyond Naruto's skill level, so he suggests the first option. Now that Naruto knows that uh, what the drawback is, he'll be more cautious while using it, and then he picks up his shirt and thanked Ino, having her finally calm down and just start blushing once again, in her deep red tone. Naruto then mentions that he's gonna go look for Itachi, but is informed by the two Chia girls that Itachi has gone on another Ambu mission and will probably be out of the village for the next around week. So, now Naruto, visibly upset, is informed by Kakashi that they will be doing another exercise since they've already done the tree walking and water walking. It is the next step after that, which is Chakra natures. He pulls out 6 pieces of paper and proceeds to pour chakra into one, and then that one crumbles out. Now that everyone is confused, he explains that this means he has a high lightning affinity, but he also explains that he only channeled lightning chakra into it, and says that he actually also has multiple chakra natures, which means that a bunch of weird stuff would have happened with the paper, but he just wanted to demonstrate. And now he gives each a piece of paper, including Ino, and thus Ino was correctly confused because she wasn't a part of their group. But Kakashi gives his signature eye smile and says that of course Naruto students get one, and this is once again causes Ino to blush and gains a grunt from Naruto. Everyone proceeds to follow Kakashi's example and flow their chakra to within the paper, having it circulate and cause a reaction. Izumi's would set on fire and cut into two at the same time, indicating that she has a wind chakra nature. Anki, or Anchi, um, it sets ablaze and then it immediately gets soaked in water, which means she has fire and water, a very rare mixture, but it happens sometimes. May hers becomes all dusty and crumbles, so this means she has an earth and lightning element. Naruto's crumbles up and splits into four, which means that he has a high lightning and high wind affinity. Ino's does exactly the same as Mei's, meaning she has an earth and lightning affinity. So, they have all now basically checked out their chakra affinity, and Kakashi is glad to see that three of them had his element that he could help them get affiliated with. So Kakashi has now assumed a thinking pose and then says, well, Izuma, for you, here is a jutsu called the Wind Style Gale Palm, flashing through the hand seals and then turns to Anki, saying, for you, here is a water-based genjutsu, and shows something similar to what the Demon Brothers do in canon, but a little more advanced and a little bit more sought out and thought out. And he then turns to Mei, Naruto, and Ino, then says that I can teach you three the same jutsu, and this is a jutsu called Lightning Style Arced Lightning or Arched Lightning, and basically fails through the hand signs as the carved lightning bolt shoots through the air, but the range is around 7 feet. He explains that this is a curved lightning style jutsu, which means it turns chakra into lightning and basically shoots it off, but the short range is because of how much chakra it drains. The more chakra you have, the more easily you can extend the distance and the voltage output. Basically meaning it would give a bigger shock and could possibly kill them with enough chakra. Well, this has been it, guys. I hope y'all enjoyed. Before you leave, just stick to the end and watch the intro. It's kind of fun, or the outro. It's kind of funny. I know y'all will enjoy it, but please just take that last 5 seconds. Click the subscribe button because it really helps. And if you want to see a next part, this has to hit 200 likes. So once it hits 200 likes, I'll start recording the next part. This took a lot of effort, a lot of scripting, a lot of arguing with myself if it's good enough or not, but I hope y'all enjoy. So, after checking out all my initials to help me in these things, um, yeah, thank you and peace out.
1, 2, 3, let's go!
Subscribe for more.
Yada yada does it.